Hello and welcome back. Earlier than expected. No, it is not February. You have not missed Christmas. Don't worry. You haven't had a big end of season bender. The off season hasn't gone that fast. We're back unexpectedly for a bit of a special show. Look, we'll address the reason why. There's been a lot of messages. There's been a lot going on today. A lot of things. To be honest, I'm trying to enjoy a bit of a break, off season break, relax. I'm trying to swim every day, enjoy the water, enjoy the heat. Work on my tan, which isn't going to happen, but. It's, I had to come and do this show because I can't keep up with all the messages, all the tags, all the mentions. We love the support, love how much people are getting involved. And obviously people are very passionate about this one, but we had to do something special. So we've got the A team on tonight. Not everyone could make it. Jason's in the comments, so I don't know why he could make it, but Michael's at work. Hayden's in America. Jack's playing OzTag. We all have a good off season. I don't know what Taylor's doing at all, but, this is the three we're stuck with, and I'm pretty happy with this three. I'm not because you got Troy, but then obviously Longy balances that out. So before we get into the news, sorry, Troy, I thought I'd get one more in for the year. Troy, happy anniversary too, mate. Anniversary night. So let's start with that.
Yeah, thanks, mate. I really appreciate the wishes there. As you said, I had to brush anniversary dinner just to come on this podcast because I knew the fans wanted to get the information and the like. So I'm here, as you said, the A team. But no, it's okay. We're going out to dinner on Saturday night anyway, so it's all right.
Oh, nice. Give us some details. Romantic, or are you taking it to the pub for a snitty?
Well, that was on the cards, but no, somewhere nice, I think. Any suggestions, just let me know, and we might go there. So, but no, we haven't thought of anywhere yet.
Anyone that owns a restaurant or something out there, in the Penrith, Western Sydney, Parramatta area, just, let us know and we'll get Troy Romantic up for the night. So, Longy, mate, off-season, how's it going? How you looking after yourself in the off-season? What have you been doing?
Mate, it's tough without fantasy, but internationals are pumping. I'm keen to see Isaiah Yongi playing at 6 for Tonga this week next to Isaiah Katoa. So there's a bit going on in the footy world still, but outside of that, it's pretty chill, isn't it? Until I got your desperate call, you were sobbing into the phone. No one else is going to come, Longy, please come on tonight. Also, my tan's not going well. I look like a beetroot. Help me.
Yeah.
And here I am.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, no, you can't really argue that. Taylor's in the comments too, apparently hiding. So if you can give us a score update as well throughout the night, Taylor, that'd be fantastic. So, here we go. Hang on. He couldn't help himself. Now I've got to change my whole bloody algorithm around.
No. Hang on. Drum roll. Do we need a drum roll?
The Talking Parra podcast thing's going. I'm gonna plus this one. Everyone wait. This is what happens when you deal with. They say never work with children and idiots. And unfortunately, hello, Jason.
Hello, Jason.
Oh, boy. Oh, my God. It's a young Jason.
Oh, yeah, I got the beard for getting ready for summer.
All right. So, Jason, let us know what you've been up to the off-season, then we'll get stuck into this because we want to keep this quick and we want to go.
Yeah. No, well, my tagline says it all. Some people have jobs and they work late, so. I was eating dinner. I just got home. So, but you called me out, so I decided to come on.
Yeah, we called Taylor out too, but she won't come on. That's for sure. So, All right, let's get into the news in case you've been sleeping under a rock, and you would have had to be sleeping under a rock because actually when the news broke, I was trying to have a bit of a nap, and it didn't really go well for me because my phone started blowing up and buzzing. So what we do know, unconfirmed by a club at the moment, and we'll obviously wait for that news to come out, is that Parramatta have, now they're saying a loan. Now, I'll say this very loosely. Loans don't exist in the rugby league world. There's no such thing as a transfer and a loan. Quite simply, with Harry Grant's situation before, which was a previous loan, the player is released. Obviously, they signed for that season with an agreed contract, I believe, to go back to the club. Now, obviously, in this situation, Pezza has no agreement to go back to Melbourne. And I will say what I do know, what I have heard through a little bit of rugby league grapevine is that there is no deal done for Brisbane at the moment. It's quite a long way off. Now, what has happened is Parramatta obviously have offered him a 1-year deal for next year, it is believed. I believe he has accepted that deal. Now, there's obviously some pros, some cons. We're going to get stuck into it. We'll try and start with the pros now, and then we'll obviously get to the cons because it's one of those situations where I think the cons outweigh the pros. And I think we can all agree with that. And I think that's the general line on, I guess, the social media world and amongst Parramatta fans as well. Now, obviously the pros are, look, not knowing if I didn't know what we had coming through the junior system and how good those young players are, and you saw Peasant play when he stood in for Melbourne at the end of the year, he's obviously a very talented player. He's very capable. I think it's come out that Peasant signed a 3-year deal with a club option of 4, for example, for Parramatta. I think everyone would be pretty stoked with that. Yes, you still have people say yes, but go out.
Hey, Adam, your microphone's a little bit dodgy there.
Is it? Is it me?
There we go. You're clear now.
Okay, sorry. I think a lot of people would have been happy with that deal if that situation did happen, if it was a 3-year deal with a 4th option. I think people still would have been a little bit angry because, is it all good now? Are they delayed?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's the off-season, guys. I've had everything unplugged. Everything's been unplugged. I didn't even know where the laptop was. I had to find it. I'm running around the house.
Sorry, Adam, my microphone got called a potato before, so I'm just going with the computer now.
You're going to have to deal with it, guys. It's fucking off-season.
Fans are harsh in the off-season, aren't they? Jeez.
They're angry. It's like, this is how we treat you every time, Troy. So
I know. I'm used to it, so don't worry.
Back to it. I think that's the way that fans would have looked at it, not knowing the situation. Yes, he's going to be good for a year. He's a great player, but we won't get to the disappointments now. We'll go your positives first, Longy.
Oh, I had a bunch of negatives lined up.
We'll get to
positive-wise, it's good depth. It's good depth, right? He's a genuine 7. So personally, I would rather he not be starting round 1. I'd rather stick with Moses and Joash and then have him as our depth piece there. But I don't know why he joined the club when he can be the depth piece for Melbourne, who constantly have half injuries anyway. So, yeah, that's my take. Not great.
That's just a light, bro. I'm not used to publishing in this kind of. There's still a bit of daylight outside. So, Jace, your thoughts?
Positive?
Yeah, we're staying positive. We're staying positive.
The positive is it's only 12 months.
Must be cheap too, right?
Yeah, you'd hope so.
No,
that's all my positives.
Troy, surely you're a man of the positives.
Yeah, well, I mean, as you mentioned there before, you've seen what he's done before for Melbourne, a top-ranked club, and as long as you said, great depth. Again, we all saw what happened this year with Mitchell out for 10 weeks at the start of the year. So, heaven forbid that happens again next year. But yeah, that's all I can say, really.
Yeah. Can you name the last 2 players, Troy? And I can, but I'm going to throw you under the bus because you're such a knowledgeable man.
Well, yeah. Okay,
we know all you do in the off-season is read up on stats. Can you name the last 2 Parramatta players that came from Melbourne to Parramatta?
From Melbourne to Parramatta.
I'll throw Luke Kelly into the mix.
Luke Kelly's definitely one.
Yeah, remember that. That was hyped.
Yeah, okay. Well, there's one. I'm just trying to think of.
I believe it was Billy Rogers. Yeah, was it Billy Rogers? Remember him?
Yes, potentially. His name was mentioned the other day to me by someone, actually. So
there's two players that came from a Melbourne system with great hype, incredible hype, actually. They were meant to be our next big thing, and 2 players that didn't work out for Parramatta. Now, that's my biggest fear straight away. My biggest fear is we put our eggs in one basket here. And we potentially, said to Joash, said to Lorenzo, you're going to wait. You're going to wait another year. We'll try and make it work. Whatever happens, blah, 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 blah. I think Joash will still see some football. And I think throughout the year, Lorenzo will see some first-grade football as well. But we're bringing this guy in because he gets the first crack at 6. That's why he's come to us. It's part of why he wants to come to us. It'll be the deal with obviously Braith and Asta. Now, what if he doesn't work, Jason? What if he gets to Parramatta and it's a complete waste of time? What do we do in that situation?
Well, it's already a waste of time. We've got Footy Dean as a backup half. He's played well. He's a genuine 7. We've got Lorenzo. We've got Joash fighting for a 6 spot. Yes, Joash is versatile, but we need to keep him happy. We need to keep him excited. We need to keep him motivated. Bringing Peasant's not going to do that. And what's 1 year going to do? Like, who cares? It should be 4 or nothing. Like, what the hell is like? Please explain. I almost feel like Pauline Hanson. Please explain. Like, what is going on here? What is the purpose of this? And I hope it's all bullshit, and I hope it's just Braith and Asta not knowing how to be a player manager and doing stupid things that don't make sense. Like, that's my hope. It's all fake. But what do? We just don't do it. And then if it does come around that we have to deal with this situation, I only think it's going to be detrimental. Like, what's Joash going to get out of this? What's Lorenzo going to get out of this? What's Footy Dean going to get out of this? How about start making combinations between Moses and Joash? You know, it just doesn't make sense. And some people are saying it's going to give us an edge to make the top 8. But even if it does, we only have him for 12 months anyway. So it's a complete waste. It's either win the comp or and go bust or do nothing. It's not like this guy is, I don't know, Cooper Cronk. Like who cares? Like bring in Cherry Evans for 12 months to try and win a comp, and move Moses to 6. Like, anyway, what do? Hopefully we don't do it.
But we've made it clear that we don't want a rental. Like last year we had Dylan Brown, one of the best running 6s in the game, and we went, oh no, we won't play you this year because you're not going to be here next year. Where is that logic gone? Like, it makes absolutely no sense.
Exactly.
It's not. It's kind of the same as the Ethan Sanders situation as well. Like I said, and Jason makes a very valid point. If it was, Daly Trevins, or let's say it was a Cameron Munster, for example, let's look at a genuine 6. If it was a Cameron Munster, it would make sense because I believe bringing someone in like a Cameron Munster, an experienced player that's played for his state, his country, something like that, it'd be acceptable because that player in that situation could probably take us to being a top 4 team with the team we have. Let's say that. Are we going to get that out of Peasant? No, I don't think so because Peasant's still a rookie. He's a development player. Now, what happened with Ethan Sanders when Ethan Sanders signed for Canberra and Mitchell Moses was out, Dylan Brown was out, we didn't play him at halfback. We didn't give him a run in first grade because we didn't want to develop him, and that'd be Canberra's benefit. We're now going to take a player for 12 whole months, most likely make him our number 6, and develop him for Brisbane the year after, a team that just won the comp. How's that sit with you, Troy?
Well, yeah, not very good, to be honest. But, I mean, rugby league's a strange game. What happens if Reynolds and Ben Hunt turn around and say, no, we're not going to retire in 2027?
I think that'll be retiring if that happens, like the Super League.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously, Jason Riles is putting all his eggs in one basket to try and win the comp in 2026. But, yeah, it doesn't sit very well, I don't think. I mean, you're grooming a halfback for another team, and then one day that could bite us in the bum.
Yeah, that's 100% correct. It definitely could bite us in the ass. Troy, you can still use language. That's fine.
I haven't sworn yet.
I know. Well, Troy's getting ready for his role of Santa Claus coming up in local shopping centres, guys. So got to get.
I reckon the beard looks slick, mate. He's looking
Thanks,
clean
mate.
there. You got the
Appreciate
fade on the
that.
side as well.
He's
Yes,
finally
appreciate that, mate.
he's finally using
fine
speed
fine
sponsor.
Jericho products.
All right. Is there any more positive? Can we find another positive, Longy?
I mean, we were named as a powerhouse club next to Melbourne and Brisbane in a few articles. That's a nice little plus. So,
No,
I just don't see it. Like, I just don't see much. I mean, maybe it's a test of us running another 7 next to Moses, but we've seen that with Hawkins already. I don't know. I've got some numbers lined up, by the way, for reserve grade, because I think the core premise of this is that we assume Pezit's a better player than Joash, and I don't think that's true. Right? I think at the gates, this falls over. So I'll give you the numbers because it really is pretty dodgy.
Go on. Give us numbers.
You want it now?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. Do I get a Tim Manor intro or like?
No.
Not today.
That's just season.
I'll whack you out some numbers here because, like, first grade, right? They both played a handful of games in first grade, so I'm not going to compare those, but they are relatively similar in terms of first grade numbers. For reserve grade last year, both played a decent handful of games in reserve grade as well. Josh Papali'i, he didn't just step into the Parra starting side because Dylan Brown was leaving. He had 8 consecutive games with 1 or more try assists in reserve grade before getting into that first grade side. So last year, Josh Papali'i, I'm going to give you these numbers across, say, per 10 games, right? So for every 10 games, he had 13 try assists last year. For every 10 games, he had 20 line break assists. He was an absolute machine. For every 10 games, Jonah Pezzett, he was solid last year too in reserve grade, which is where both of them really started out. Jonah Pezzett had 8 try assists, so 5 behind Joash. He had 12 line break assists, so 8 behind Joash. So in terms of attacking production and creativity, which is what we're looking for next to Moses, he's behind Joash Papali'i in reserve grade. And in first grade, it's relatively similar to numbers, but then you throw in the fact that Joash is playing for Parramatta and Pezzett was playing for the Storm, where I haven't seen anyone play badly in a Storm jersey in a halves uniform. So I just look at this and I think, Jonah Pezzett's 2 years older than Joash Papali'i. Joash Papali'i is a better fit for our team. I think it's a poor move. I don't see any upside of this starting Pezzett over Joash. I'd be starting Joash first. And it's not just Parra bias here. These are the numbers. And Adam, I'll give you the numbers later and I'll help you make up a post on this because it really is telling. And even if you look at a multi-year reserve grade career for these guys, Joash is still ahead. So he's got 8 try assists every 10 games of reserve grade across multiple years. Pezzett has 5, right? So these are just numbers, right? But in terms of attacking production and creativity, Josh Papali'i is ahead in basically every metric.
I'm just gonna cut up everything you said then, make a little video of you, and just post it. That'd be so much easier. Like, it'll just be perfect.
I'll give you the numbers, man. Most people want to see them. I'll make a side by side for you.
You do that. That'd be fucking fantastic because I'm in the off season. Remember? All right. Something you said there as well. It really grabbed my attention. I can't remember what it was because I miss Jazz. I miss
Didn't
Jazz.
mention defense, by the way, and they're very similar defensively, stat wise. So I'll just say that.
Yeah, that's it. Do you want to say anything on that one, Troy?
No, well, that's brilliant stats there, Longy. But as somebody mentioned before in the comments there, is there any idea about how much they have paid, allegedly? Because how much would be too much, do you think? How much do you think Jonah's worth?
Let's just all have a stab of what you think he's on. I'm not saying a thing. What do you think he's on?
On now or what we signed him for?
What do you think he's going to be on next year?
What I think he'll be on next year, I reckon it'll be about 450, 500.
Longy?
That hurts. 350.
Yeah.
Jason?
Yeah, about 350, hopefully.
Cool. Yep. All right. Lovely. I think any young half coming through will be on a lot more than that because there's a severe lack of quality halves around proven at first grade
we've
level.
We've got one that's better already. So
I know, but I was hearing, and I've got no source on this guy, so don't just fucking assume I do. Remember, I've completely broken away from that. I put a post up on it, so I'm not going to go any more into that. It's a whole nother story. But I've heard 800 is what was being offered.
Oh,
I don't. Once again, I don't. I could be completely wrong.
Fuck me.
If you work it out, if someone like Dylan Brown's just signed for 1.4 for the Knights, 800K on potential, maybe that's what Brisbane are paying. I don't know.
Potential that we won't see, Adam.
Yeah,
I'll be there for it.
I'm on Team Longy. I'm on Team Longy here. But anyway.
Well, if that's the alleged figure for 1 year at Parramatta, imagine what Brisbane are going to be paying.
I never said it was at Parra. All I heard was his manager was shifting and looking for about 800.
So we're gonna run with 350 because everyone's too upset in the comments.
Yeah. So that could have been a multi-year deal that was being offered on, and that's like I said, it's what Anasta was chasing. So
he's not even worth that. Like he hasn't, as long as pointed out, he hasn't even proved himself in reserve grade. It's not like he's killing it with 20 tries or 20 try assists and all these amazing stats, just waiting for his like Yongi. Yongi was killing it in reserve grade. He was killing it. And then he's still killing it. It's not like this guy has got some sort of untapped potential that nobody wants to give him a go at first grade. He's just got Braith and Astor as a fucking player manager, and then the guy doesn't know what the fuck he's doing.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Just
So I
quickly
started
too,
swearing.
people are asking in the
He's
comments about Joash's numbers. He played a lot of fullback. It's absolutely true. If you isolate to games where he played in the halves, his numbers are still better than Peasant's. It's a smaller number of games, but it carries over. So, yeah, I'm going to stand by those numbers.
Yeah. We're going to get to some negatives because I know people want to hear the negatives. I'll swing you one more positive first. And this was the idea I had. One more positive is, and I'm clutching at straws, guys. I'm trying to be positive. One more positive is obviously we don't have to rush Lorenzo. That's the one. Now, the other positive, I guess, is that I believe Joash will have a place in this team, and I believe there is a plan to make that work. So, me personally, I see him having a bench spot, obviously, at the current time. I think if Peasants come, I don't like it. I want him starting at 6. I really do.
Can I sorry, I'm going to cut you off. Can I tell you what I think's happened?
Yep, you're going to.
Sorry.
Jeez, when I do that, I get yelled at.
Sorry. I just
Way too much skin for my liking as well, so I'm just going to let the man talk.
I feel like we've lost Lomax, and this is the interim solution to get Lorenzo ready for 6, and Joash is going to play wing. That's just my reading of the reading between the lines.
My reading is you need to stop doing so much work and keep up with the group chat. I believe Lomax is not going now. That 10-year thing was, turned him and Pappenhausen both very much off.
But even today, there was the Telegraph was reporting that he was close to signing for R60.
Where did that news come from? Do you remember who broke that news?
I'll go back and find it, but
it was Braithen Astor.
I saw it today.
I'll save you the research. Braithen Astor originally broke the news about Zach Lomax, meaning that Parramatta had a free spot, or an extra free spot. And the idea you're thinking, yep, probably would have worked. I believe that Joash will play off the bench, as stated. And I believe that we'll make that work with a smaller bench and maybe a Hopgood in the front row, Dylan Walker at lock, Talon on the bench as well. It means we're carrying 2 utilities on the bench, which you can do in the modern game, and then 2 front rowers, which would probably be like a Luca Moretti and a Sam Tuivasa. I'll just run you through my team.
Utilities.
Can I chime in here on this? Because I think that's the worst possible outcome. Like there's two pathways here. Either you're bringing Pezvid in, you're starting him. I don't know why you'd do it, but let's say you're doing it and you think he's going to be better than Joash this year. The reason you do that is because you want to give Joash a full season of reserve grade at 6 to translate that fullback dominance into the halves. Yeah, that's the only reason I would see for this. Like, if they're going to go put him on the bench, he's not going to develop.
If Joash is at 6, where's Lorenzo? Exactly right. You know what I mean? And then you've got Footy Dean will be at 7. You've got Ronald Volkman as well. I know Volkman can play fullback. Then you've got Tweedle there as well, Appy. So I believe obviously either Hawkins or Volkman will go. They'll ask for a release.
Good problem to have.
Yeah, I don't blame them.
It'd be a great problem to have if we had Joash starting.
Let's not forget Lorenzo can play Jersey flag as well. We don't want him playing Jersey flag. We want him playing against men because I think by this 1-year deal, and I say it's respectful, I think by this 1-year deal, it's pretty obvious that Riles does see Lorenzo as our long-term 6. Okay? Now, Joash's versatility. I love Joash's versatility. And Joash is fucking determined to play 6. He wants to play 6. I can guarantee that much. And I hope he does. And I hope he absolutely kills it at 6. Now, let's talk about Joash quickly. At the start of the year when Joash come across, how many people knew who he was? Not a lot. He proved himself in the preseason. He stood out. I went and watched the training session. He was an absolute fucking star. He lit the world on fire. There was a big chance that Joash was going to start at fullback for the season over Iongi. Everyone thought that was what was being reported. Okay, and it didn't happen, but he stood out. So I'm not going to doubt him. I think if he wants to play 6, there's a fair chance he'll get a crack there. I'm going to run you through my team. And explain the method behind my madness. And this is way too fucking early, but let's do it anyway. Ongi will be at fullback. Lomax Adokar in the wing. Penasini Russell in the centres. Pezzett at 5'8". Moses at halfback. Hopgood Jr. in the front row. Riley at 9. Then you'll have Jack Williams, Kit Kat, and Dylan Walker at 13. Your bench of Talon, Luca, Sam Tuivasa, and Josh Papali'i. Now, obviously, what that means is when Dylan Walker comes off, Talon goes to hooker, Riley goes to 13. Obviously, means your second rowers have to play 80. It works. Joash is there, but I'll go to Longy's point. Is that good for Joash's development as a 6? No, it's fucking not. because you're essentially going to bring him on. You haven't got a Dylan Brown there anymore. You haven't got someone like Dylan Brown who can easily push in the middle and defend. And if you get to a situation in the game where you get Joash coming on at as a loose 13 with a Talon de Silva in the middle of the field as well, it leaves a lot of questions having to, I guess, not just the fact they're little, but they're young as well, players in the middle of the field. So there's some thought out plans around that, obviously. I think that's what will happen, and I've been contemplating this all day, working about it.
Adam, just quickly, Jack DeBellin.
Does he play reserve grade?
Well, Jack DeBellin's probably there over maybe Sam or maybe Luca. I think Jack's signed as a bench player. Like, you're not going to carry 3 front rowers on the bench anyway in the modern game. You're going to carry 2. It's just if Joash is there, if Talon's there, maybe Talon ends up in reserve grade. Joe Lussick's gone. Like, is it the best for Talon de Silva to be playing on a big contract but playing 80 minutes at 9 in reserve grade?
No,
it's probably not.
Man. It's going to work.
I love to.
A full preseason, man. A full preseason is so underrated. Like, we talk about all this stuff. The full preseason is underrated. Talon de Silva didn't have a full preseason at hooker. Riley Smith came in. He didn't really have a full preseason at hooker, did he? And then Joash Papali'i definitely didn't have a full preseason at 6, right? So you look at these guys, they've shown these glimpses. You give them a full preseason.
Give me 2 seconds. Calm the fuck down, bro. I clearly forgot we signed him, okay? I'm trying to enjoy the off-season. Relax.
A lot of people got you with that one. That's why I cut in. But preseason, though, man, like, you give these guys a shot, and they've shown these glimpses. And our system is not established. Like, we have a first-year coach last year, so it's not like they've been playing the system for years, like Pezzett has, for example. I just think everything was stacked in our favor here, and we've just kind of gone and messed it up.
Yeah. I want to ask a question. Why doesn't anyone like the RTS Minicello combo that won the Roosters the comp that year? Why does no one like that?
Where are you putting? You're talking about having
So
Joash.
I'm talking about Joash on the wing, Ayongi at fullback, and they both interchange, and they go in between wing, fullback, half, and they do whatever the fuck they want depending on how the game plays out.
What wing are you dropping?
That won the comp for the Roosters that year.
What wing are you dropping though? That's the problem. Like
Lomax is playing rugby.
No, he's not.
You hung on that, aren't you, Jason?
I'm gonna put my hat on that because I want Josh to play in the team in a position where he's better suited. Especially if it's not at 6. If it's not at 6, he needs to be fullback or wing.
You need it to be true for your theory.
How out of this you're meant to go? Like how out of this you're prepared to go? What's the deal? So if Lomax is playing in round 1, what do you turn up in round 1 to the game?
Oh, do I got to make bets now? Let me come back to you and do my research properly because apparently I'm wrong.
Hayden's already in cheerleader dress, so I don't know what you're going to be wearing. Just back to it, back to the comments, right? I personally, I would have Sam Tuivasa and Luca Moretti if we're planning for the future. Like we've said, we're planning for the future. I'd have me in my
planning for the future, Adam.
We're planning for 1 year.
I'd have him in my team over Jack DeBellin. Really, I'm sorry. And you can't leave Dylan Walker out because Dylan Walker, actually, you could probably leave Hopgood out, to be honest, but Hopgood got back some of his best footy playing front row at the end of the year. So that's a fucking good problem to have.
Yeah, it's going to be massive preseason competition for spots, and whoever trains the hardest, does the best, they'll get picked. And then performance-wise in games, again, if they perform, they'll stay. If they don't, they should get dropped.
All right, let's get on to some negatives. And then we'll conclude with how was
was that positive?
It was meant to be. It was meant to be the positive. All right.
I mean, the positive. Here's a positive. Clearly, the club thinks we're in a premiership window, and they're the only ones who think it. But they think we're in a premiership window because they're doing, player.
What to bring in the almighty Pezzett? Fuck me. What? Pay Cherry Evans $800,000. See if we can win the comp with him. Put Moses at 6.
No one knows it's $800,000. I just told you it was a figure that was.
He's just following in his old man's footsteps, Jason. Come on.
Anyway,
pull on that number 7 jersey as well.
All right, ready? This is meant to be quick. It's Troy's anniversary, guys. We need to get him out of here. Anyway,
happy anniversary, Troy.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
All right, so Troy, shut the fuck up.
Just quickly, Adam, a few people have asked about Yongi playing 6 for Tonga. Actually, for all you boys, is there any chance he lights it up at 6 and we go, hey, he's 100%.
Peasant at fullback.
This is why I was
No,
hoping.
Joash at fullback.
But this is why I was hoping that nothing was announced or nothing come out before he played 6 for Tonga. Because what if he does kill it for Tonga? What if he goes out and plays Talangi and kills Jerome Luai for Samoa? Like, what if he sets the world on fire? Like, it's a good problem to have, and now it's a fucking more complicated problem to have.
Moses go back to fullback.
I mean, he had 4 try assists there for the Tigers like 8 years ago. So, again, that was pretty good against the Dogs.
Anyway, back to the negatives. Okay. So the negatives, besides the fact we're now laughing stock of the league, it just doesn't sit well with me that it's a rookie that we're developing for another club. I think is the biggest negative. I guess I will say this, like, I've given Jason Rolls full trust. He hasn't made a bad decision yet, and everything he has done has worked out. And we've got to respect that, obviously. So trust his plan. He does have a plan. I believe what I've seen, he's a hard enough coach that if Pezzett comes and someone like Joash or Lorenzo is outperforming him in the preseason, or let's say Pezzett starts at 5'8" for Parramatta and Lorenzo or Joash start killing it, in their limited opportunities, either in reserve grade or off the bench or whatever it is, I believe he will drop Pezzett and bring one of them in. That's one last positive. The negative is if that doesn't happen and someone like Lorenzo is absolutely killing it at Cup, someone like Joash is also killing it, one of them is going to want to go. We've also got Lincoln Fletcher coming through as well. We've got another young halfback coming through in the lower grades as well. We've obviously released Matt Hunter and Josh Lynn as well. Well, Matt Hunter's gone the night. Josh Lynn's gone as well. We've got so many good young kids coming through. That's the biggest thing. I've seen this before as a Parramatta fan. It's like a book that you just fucking flick back halfway through when you're almost at the end of the good part when we actually win something, and you flick it back to the start and you read the same fucking nightmare again. And what that nightmare is that one of these kids leaves, whether it be a Joash or Lorenzo or Lincoln Fletcher, and they go off. They go off. They play for another club and they absolutely kill it. That's the hardest part about that. So that's what doesn't sit well with me. It's one of several things that doesn't sit well with me. I will say the fact it's a 1-year deal means the club is obviously prioritising keeping your Lorenzos and your Lincoln Fletchers and giving them time to develop. You got a negative for me, Troy?
Well, it's probably the contract transfer system, isn't it? Like, it's just all over the place. I mean, you sign with one club for 1 year and then you sign for another club allegedly after that one. I mean, basically the players got the control, don't they? They can just make up whatever they want to do. And, we don't want to see our younger players in the same situation as what Jonah was at Melbourne and then asking for a release and moving on. Because as you said, they go to other clubs and then they become superstars. They play rep football and then we just add them to the list that we have previously.
And Moses is fucking ageless, apparently. He's going to play forever. Longy?
I mean, I've hammered it, right? But I just think the good clubs aren't doing what we're doing right now. So the loan players, the youth players, Harry Grant back in the day when he was on loan, all these guys, they go to the lower tier clubs to get some reps and then they go back to the good clubs to play footy. And what we're doing is we're putting ourselves in that lower tier club conversation. So I just don't like it. I think it delays our future. I think we come out of this year. If he plays the full year and he plays well, like, great, it's going to be fun to watch. But we come out of it knowing nothing about our next generation of Sixers. We don't know if Joash is the guy because Joash could kill it again in reserve grade. We already know he can kill it in reserve grade. Like, we're not going to learn anything from that. So
we probably know Lorenzo can after his last 5 games in New South Wales Cup as well. We know he's taking it.
Lorenzo's cracker too. I'm just throwing Joash in because I know more about him than Lorenzo. Yeah. But his numbers were solid as well. But Lorenzo, we're still learning about in reserve grade. Joash, I think we know who Joash is in reserve grade. And he's 2 years younger than Pezzett as well. I'm just going to hammer that again. Like, he's almost... No one's talking about it like this. I view him as a better prospect, especially considering he loves Parramatta. Like, that's the key ingredient there.
Yeah, I agree. And I was going to make this point a little bit later, but you're right. Like, it's a year of just... The only way this is a success... I'll let Jason talk. Go, Jason. Talk, mate. I need to hold that thought. It's my closing argument.
He's on mute. He's on mute.
The fire engine. No, I want to just put... I want to put another hypothetical here. What if this is just the weird and wonderful madness of Jason Riles and we're signing Pezzett to play reserve grade? And that's all he's going to do. and we're all jumping to conclusions, and he's going to start, and maybe he's not going to start. Maybe Jason Rolls is like, he's a good enough player. He wants to play somewhere. We can use him in reserve grade. Maybe we can win reserve grade. And also, he's a good backup. Maybe that's all it is. Maybe that's all it is. You know, in Rolls we trust. I don't know. Today, I was whinging about something, and someone said to me, "Look at the positives. Look at the bright side." All right, that's the bright side. Maybe he's only signed to play reserve grade.
Dreamer. Dreamer.
I think if that was the case, Jason, he wouldn't be coming to us because there'd be some other small clubs who are a bit more desperate for a genuine 7. Even some other clubs who probably aren't desperate for a 7 that pulled out of the race when they found out that obviously Brisbane were very close to taking him. So, yeah, but I like where you're thinking. But we've also got Footy Dean there, who probably this will be his final year at Parramatta. You think next year he's only on a 2-year deal and the young players coming through. There's so many negatives we could talk about. There's so much stuff going on in the comments. I'm going to jump to my final remark and my conclusion. It won't be because we'll end up talking for another 20 minutes. How does this become a success? Now, for me, this is only a success, and I say this, it's only a success if we win a comp. Anything short of that, if we make a grand final and we get beat, if we make a prelim final, whatever the fuck happens, if we don't win a comp, it's a failure. And the reason for that is there'll be no excitement for the year after. You can't build something for a year. We have never been the club. We've never been the club that makes a grand final and then has a good year the next year after. Looks like we're going to win the comp, have we? Like, look at our last, 3 grand finals. We haven't played finals football after them, So we played finals. Did we play finals football in 2002? Troy, you would have been 27 then, wouldn't you? 34?
Yeah, about that.
I think we did.
Yeah, I think we
massive
did.
jump.
I think we did.
I know we definitely did.
You would have been 27, 75.
Yeah, something. Anyway, he was definitely old enough to remember. I was, like 11. I don't think we did. I thought maybe we did. Anyway, that's the only way it's a success anyway, because like Longy said before, all we've done is, I guess, push back the next year's planning. There was so much focus on shifting Dylan Brown this year, giving Joe Ash the opportunities, planning for this year, backing the future. The only conclusion I can come to is that for some strange reason, whether Riles has watched back tapes or gone through whatever, is that he thinks that Joe Ash isn't the answer. He thinks that Joe Ash probably will not be the Parramatta 6, and he thinks that Lorenzo is not ready. Now, Joe Ash probably hasn't been told that, not that I know, but that's the only thing I can think of in that situation is that that's what he's gone with, and he wants to give him time to develop, no pressure, so he's brought in someone who can play 6 for the year. Can anyone swing another positive to me? How is this a success, Jason?
Success? No, it's not. It's not. Well, I said my positive. My positive is that it's a limited time period.
So if we win a comp, it's not a success?
Only if we, like you said, only if we win the comp. But we're not going to win the comp with Pezzett. Pezzett is not some magical player that's going to turn our team from 11th to 1st. It's not going to happen. He's not that player. And I hope he proves me wrong, and I will love the guy for the rest of my life if we win a comp with him. But he's not that player. Maybe a Cherry Evans is, but not a Jonah Pezzett. I'm sorry.
How would it be? Yeah, it's a massive. That's great. We get to play finals football. We get to get our hearts broken again and watch our team get beat in a prelim final or a semi-final after a top 4 year, and then we prepare for next year with what? 2 players that we don't know how to handle first grade because they haven't played first grade for 12 months. Look, and they probably will. Let's be honest. Mitchell Moses probably won't get through a full season of football. He'll probably play rep football. Something could happen. There'll be injuries. There's always injuries in rugby league. Only could get injured. You don't know what could happen. There's always going to be things that move around. So rep footy, anything like suspensions. Who knows what could happen? But Lorenzo, I think, will debut sometime next year, and Joe Ash will either get a crack at 5'8" or fullback throughout the year. But it's still not going to be a week in, week out combination thing. I didn't agree when we played Dylan Brown in the last game this year. I thought that Dylan Brown, he should have played, but he should have played off the bench and something like that. I agree Joe should have been there, and people are going to go, he got surgery, all this kind of stuff. We won't go into that. But he should have been there because we still should have been planning for next year. We have not seen Moses and Joe Ash on the field that much together. Or, we could have even debuted Lorenzo if Joe Ash generally couldn't play that game. Debut him at the end of the year and see him go with Moses. You can do
Can I throw some stuff at your head too? Because, with that combination, right? That combination of Joe Ash and Moses. So they played together in 6 games this year. 4 of them Josh is at fullback, 2 Josh is in the halves next to Moses. So the 4 at fullback, we beat the Broncos 22-20. They basically didn't lose a game after that game as well. So massive. We lost to the Storm 16-10, so a close one. We beat the Cowboys 19-18. We had that loss to the Rabbitohs, which was just a weird game. And then when Joash and Moses played in the halves together, we played against 2 finals teams. We beat the Roosters 30-10, absolutely pounded them. And we beat the Warriors 26-22 in New Zealand. So I look at this and I go, all right, we scored 30 points and 26 points. The attack was not a problem. The defense was solid as well. These were good oppositions. What about that isn't exciting for next year? Like, that's a combination we've seen 2 games of, and it was the best footy we've seen since 2022. Like, I can't understand the logic here. So I'm just refusing to believe it until it's officially announced he's the starter. I just reckon we're going to run Moses and Joash. That's a good comment.
That's a great comment.
Well done, Mitchell.
What was it?
Oh,
He said Moses will blast him.
Okay, we'll call him a cunt for.
There we go. There's Jason's first line of the year, guys. We try and find a way for him to shout the bar again, because that's what happens when he drops 3 bombs. It didn't take long. That carries over to next year, Jason. It's financial year based.
That's all right.
Anyway, Troy, I'll let you try and finish this.
yeah, look, no, you're 100% right. A premiership or bust. That's basically what it is for 1986, 2026.
Troy had a momentum flashback into his old age.
Yeah. Well, you know,
At least he was there.
be the 40th anniversary, won't it? So, yeah, premiership or bust for this 1 year. So they're throwing eggs in all in one basket. They obviously have maybe they've got a massive plan for 2027. We don't know, but yeah, I'll be with you. It has to be a premiership, or yeah. We saw this year with a few results going our way, we would have made the 8 anyway. So making the 8's not going to change anything. So yeah, premiership or bust.
I think for me, I just want to highlight one too. This isn't a personal thing against Pezet. Like I said, I do rate him as a good player and an exciting young prospect. I don't want people at the club that don't want to be there. Like, I feel like he's using us as a stepping stone, and his manager's using it as a stepping stone. Really, like, we haven't seen an announcement on the Brisbane deal. Yeah, he's going to get money for the Brisbane deal, but he's setting up his future by getting an opportunity for an extra year. You know, like, he might go to Brisbane and get a 2-year deal with a player option, might turn around, or a mutual option, or something, can turn around and decline that option and start looking for more money elsewhere. And I feel like that's what's going to happen with the Nasser as his manager. So it's not a personal thing on them. It's not an attack on the club or anything either. I just think we've been bullied by a manager again, which I thought those days are over, and bought into something. Or, like I said, Jason Riles could be a fucking genius. That's what it could be. He could be a genius, and everything he's touched so far has turned to gold. Look at our season, like how we started and how we finished. So hopefully that's the case, and we're sitting here looking back at this next year. It's October 21st, 2025. It'll be October 21st, 2026. We'll still be recovering from the massive fucking bender we've been on after we've won the grand final. There'll certainly be
my 15-year anniversary, wedding anniversary.
No, you won't be home. I'll still have you out fucking 2.5 weeks later, and we'll still be celebrating. We'll say, Jason Riles, you are a genius. But until that happens, there's going to be questions about this. I think fans have a reason to be pissed off, and I get why fans are. When you look at it from a footballing perspective, it makes sense having a good player there. But like Longy said, is he a better player than the others? That's the thing we don't know. It's the thing we might never get to know. He might get that opportunity, and they might never get it. So a lot of questions to be asked. I see why fans are pissed off. I've seen a lot of fans comments about handing in memberships and, you know, going to boo him and all this kind of stuff. There's no fucking reason for that. Like, support your team no matter what. And there's been enough positive changes at the club in the last 18 months that I guess we just need to, I know trust the process is a bit of an old saying, but trust what's going to happen and just fucking hope for the best, because 40 years is a fucking long time. You know, like Troy was, 32 when we won the last comp, and he hasn't got that much longer left with us. So we really want to win a comp while he's still around. So, all right, guys.
Thanks,
So,
Adam.
No, you're right though, he Like, if he does come, we can talk about it all now. That's hypothetical. If he does come and he does play, we're going to cheer for him, right? We're not going to boo any players in our team, any of that sort of stuff. If he plays badly, I will be saying on the podcast every week we should swap our halves with the superstar and reserve grade, but we'll cheer for him every game.
Yeah, Jason will be saying that with about 10 other fucks in it. So he'll be on the same page anyway.
Oh yeah,
Don't worry, don't worry about
you know
the
what it'll
refs.
be. You know what it'll be next year. It'll be Jason versus Jonah Pezzett, and I'll just go off about every mistake that he's made.
JVJ.
Jace, mate, this is going to be tough because your anger and my stats united here. Like we're not going to be stopped.
We're not going to play one video and try and control you talking over each other. Let's go to 3 minutes of questions, guys. Give us 3 minutes of questions because we need to get Troy out of here for 3 minutes. So what do you got, guys? What do you have? Fire some questions away at me.
Someone asked, can Pezzett backflip if he has fun at Parramatta? We don't know the details of the contract, right? So no idea, but surely it's a yes.
Hopefully.
It depends. Brisbane would be pretty fucking stupid to put a get out clause in their contract when he's coming to us for 1 year. That's for sure. So I think that'd be a pretty
get out of any contract these days.
Yeah, well, you haven't been able to get out of this one, unluckily. All right, our next podcast will probably be when the draw comes out in the middle of November. We're doing a podcast there. We'll run through a draw and stuff and start to plan, obviously, some shit for next year. 2 exciting things to look forward to next year.
That's another one. Yeah.
For those who will go to the question soon, what was it? Which question?
Oh, Kelma Tulangi as well.
Oh, yeah, I left him out on purpose. I know what I was doing. I don't rate him above Williams. I don't rate him above Kit Kat. So, and I kind of reckon that Jez will probably take his, spot as well. So, anyway.
Adam Andrews asked a question. Pool party at yours if we win the comp?
Who asked that question?
Is that Backhouse?
Andrew on YouTube has asked.
No.
The pool party. Do you have a
pool
pool?
party? Pool party at my house. I got one 3 weeks ago. Pool party at my house. No Andrews invited. It's a no Andrews party.
Oh, you got to reward the YouTube commenters, man. Like they're here.
He goes on YouTube on purpose.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he tries to disguise himself.
Oh, really? I give him special treatment.
It is Backhouse.
So.
Nothing has been officially announced. Just read between the lines.
Yep.
That's right.
It's like 3 fingers. You read between the lines.
Wait for the email.
Yeah, wait for the email. No,
wait for Braithen Asta to expose it on NRL 360.
A breaking NRL 360.
Well, my sources suggest that I've been a dickhead and I've been trying to push Parramatta into one of the stupidest deals of the century.
Well, the good news is we're going to get positive press coverage now because,
you reckon?
That's how it works, right?
Yeah. Maybe that's why we're doing it, because we want Braithen Asta to talk good things on NRL 360.
I am so over this whole media play, like managers being the media thing as well. Like I was saying with Gould and what Gould was doing with Canterbury as well. About Simonson, obviously everyone knows Simon's situation now, hopefully, but he'll be at Parramatta next year. It was a complete change of heart. May have had something to do with no reasonable offers as well for his services, but Bailey will be there next year. Any other questions? Get them in, fire them away. I'll continue waffling while we do that. I miss Jez. Jez will be starring these and putting them up for me.
How's he going after his surgery, Adam? Do you know?
He's fine. He's getting there.
I'll fire some questions at you on Jez's behalf, but I'll do a much worse job. Aaron asked the question, does Simo play at all in 2026 and where?
I think he'll be backup. He'll be in reserve grade. And
backup wing.
Yeah, he can play backup wing.
He was good. Like a couple of years ago at centre, just running those tough crash balls before his injury, he was really good. So you can rediscover that toughness. I wouldn't mind him, earning his way back into the team.
But he has to play better than Russ.
Yeah, well, he's got to rediscover the toughness, right? Like he was playing tough a couple of years ago, and I think injury obviously does a few things.
Jason Ross, Russell too.
I like this one. Yes, I believe Pezzett will free up Moses. It's one positive I meant to mention, and allow Moses to run more. But saying that, I can find a negative in that straight away. You want Moses running the team. So you don't want to, an unbalance in that situation as well with a young player trying to run the team too much, especially a young player that's leaving us and going to want to have a rival. You just want to cop the draft.
There's something that Rolls said in his interview with Matty Johns was that he wants Moses to be more free-flowing and not worry about fifth tackle plays if he sees options or opportunities on the fourth tackle, to allow him to get tackled on the fourth. And he said something along the lines of, as long as he takes the opportunity and it's not all the time or whatever it is, sometimes you set up for the kick, sometimes you don't. And we don't want Moses to worry about that fifth tackle option. Maybe that's what Rolls is thinking about. Maybe he wants a Pezzett to have that extra fifth tackle option. I don't know, but that just came to me when I saw the clips from the Matty Johns interview.
Is that eyes up footy, Jason?
Eyes up, yeah, I guess so. Eyes up footy.
Do you mean
Getting Moses into more support player positions because apparently it's his natural game to be a support player. So I don't know, but that's just something that came to me from that question. That yeah.
Do you mean the Jason Rolls interview on the mainstream media? Is that what you mean? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna bog down in semantics. I just know that it was with Matty Johns.
Okay, cool. Good question. Are Maddo and Hands coming back next year? Look, obviously they're trying to come back. In regards to the Maddo situation, I think the club's trying to offer him around. Like, imagine he's the sausage rolls at the end of the day of the bakery and they really want to get rid of him. They're doing everything they can to get rid of him in regards to Maddo. As for Hands, he was playing at Toulouse or whatever it is. Toulouse, is that how you say it in France?
Toulouse.
Yeah, I'm not French, clearly. And they've been promoted, I believe. Then Bradford, did they get promoted? Toulouse, yeah.
Yeah, Toulouse got promoted to the Super League, didn't they?
Yeah, Bradford. Yeah, so you'd think that there would be a deal coming up for Handsy there, and I wish him all the best. Good bloke, good player. Wish him all the best there. That'll pretty much do us. So I'll go back to what I was trying to say before, and I got way too distracted. If confirmed, Jonah play more games than Parra than his dad. It's definitely not confirmed yet, guys. Definitely not confirmed. Don't know what these media people are talking about. In regards to what I was trying to say was, we'll do a podcast, obviously, when the draw comes out. We'll start planning for next year. Some exciting things planned for next year. As announced earlier, Parramatta will be away from home the first 2 games of the year due to the Asian Cup Women's. I think there's 6 games on in 9 days or something. So I think it rules out round 1 and round 2, just in regards to, I guess, some issues around the ground there and getting it ready. So I see us playing away to either Brisbane, the Warriors, Canberra, something like that in round 1. I think we'll have a far away game. And obviously round 2, I'd love to see us in Newcastle. I think Newcastle won us their first home game of the year for the Dylan Brown Cup. So that'd be pretty exciting if that happens. And then round 3 will be at home eventually. So we've got some great things planned for next year, some charity walks, some more events, really giving back to the fans as well. We're all trying to get out to Magic Round as well whenever we do play at Magic Round. And whoever we do play at Magic Round, pretty much it. Anyone else got anything to say on it? Jason, anything closing remark?
Fuck Pezzett.
I think Moses runs the ball enough.
Troy?
How's my contract re-signing coming along, Adam? Have I done enough this year for
How much are you having to pay him, Troy?
Nah. You know what Troy's got to do? He's got to sign with us for 1 week. No, you're gonna sign with Talking Parra for 3 weeks, and then you're gonna go off to League of Inches for 6 weeks.
Will there be another podcast when he's confirmed to be coming for the year? Take this as your confirmed podcast. We're really trying not to do any more podcasts for the rest of the year. Really trying to have a break, trying to plan a wedding, trying to finish all the work on the pool. I'm really trying just to get stuff done away from football and carry an Oz tag team as well at the same time. So
this was fun though, mate. We said we were going to jump on for less than half an hour, and we're an hour in. So
yeah, I know.
Can't keep us off.
Yeah, I know. It's hard.
Let's just keep going.
No, we're not. Troy's got other things to do. Jason, had a big day at work. Longie's just going to do Longie, and I'm probably going to go to bed. So, all right. Good night. Love you all. Chat with you soon. Bye.
Go Parra.